We started looking at some of the configuration and customization aspects that can introduce a performance impact on your platform in the previous video. Here, we're going to delve a little deeper into two aspects that could be out of your control as an administrator, but you should definitely understand the impact on the overall platform performance. While as an administrator, you are not expected to understand details of development, you should be aware of the impact improper development of features can have on your environment. For this reason, two of the aspects we're looking at here are custom code and external features integrated into an instance. In addition, I'm also adding form customization as another potential aspect, as heavily customized forms for specific entities can have a negative impact on the user experience. When it comes to plugins, they typically can take a while to execute. Factors influencing execution time include the complexity of queries and the total data to be returned. Typically, plugins execute queries leveraging fetch.xml. This results in many situations in long-running queries. Plugins can execute either synchronous or asynchronous. The async plugins are scheduled and have a lesser impact, but a synchronous longer-running plugin will have an immediate impact on the user experience. When it comes to workflows, a similar situation as plugins is seen. A badly written workflow can get stuck in an infinite loop or can be stuck in a wait state. The more workflows are in a wait state, the more impact we could potentially see on the environment. Typically, workflows will be in a wait state when they are waiting for a specific time period delay or an action to take place. Form customizations pose a particular challenge to system configurators and administrators. Depending on the business needs, there are situations where heavy forms with a lot of sections and fields are required. There is always a balance that needs to be struck between the amount of data needed on a form and the performance impact. Configurations dealing with splitting a form into multiple role-based forms, presenting sections collapse by default, as well as reducing the number of fields and client-side scripts or business rules on the form, in most cases help alleviate some of these problems. Now that we looked at this aspect, other important details include things like network performance. A poorly performing network will always have an impact. Keep in mind that Dynamics 365 is after all a web application. You will probably observe an impact on the running application in the enterprise, and that should be a warning sign that network performance is an issue. A tool is built on the platform to look at network performance. You can access it by appending to your fully dynamic CRM 365 URL /tools/diagnostics/diag.aspx. Here, you can run a diagnostic test and observe the results. Next, server performance. With the move to Dynamics 365 Online, this is not necessarily an issue anymore, but for those on-premise deployments out there, this is something to always monitor as part of your regular data center monitoring. Finally, client performance. A slower performing client machine will always have a negative impact on the application performance. The web interface has a lot of client-side scripting features. While most modern browsers handle those with no issues on a better performing machine, a slower machine will show a lag in loading and performing actions. Other activities that carry a performance impact, and as an administrator you should schedule outside of the peak load hours, include the following items. Enabling language packs. As we've seen in a previous video, this is done through a simple configuration on the platform, but this operation carries a heavier load in the backend. Always schedule this type of configurations outside of the peak use hours. Solution management. These types of activities should never be done during use. Not only that these carry a risk to impact the stability of your environment, but they put additional load on the system, which could result in performance impacts. Publishing customizations. Related to the items above, loading, unloading, and removing solutions is also related to publishing. Once a solution is loaded, the publishing of the new configurations puts a heavy load on the normal operation of the platform. Managing apps. Installing or upgrading apps, just like solutions above, can impact the normal operation of the platform. Make sure to schedule these operations outside of peak hours. Large bulk operations. Finally, this is a task that administrators typically deal with on a regular basis. Whenever you run a bulk operation, the actions performed in the background put additional strain on the system. From retrieval of data, changes or deletions of records in bulk, all these management tasks should be performed outside of peak operation hours with the least impact on users and user experience.